Alrighty, so we're going to talk about scheduling information, and I actually haven't looked at these sheets. I printed them off last night and didn't get a chance to look at them yet. Yeah, there we go. I might even need to throw my glasses on. So let's first go into this little shot right here real quick, just to kind of briefly go over this. I do this every week, because some of you that follow each week are like, okay, Tim, I'll just come back in 10 seconds or 2 minutes when you're done with this. But let's try to run through this quickly. Don't forget, what we're talking about when it comes to the scheduling information is that if you have an order in the order bank, which is what the top one is that's where dealers place your stock in retail orders. And a retail order is that customer placed order, whereas a stock order is one for dealer inventory. You place that vehicle, that order in there, it needs to get scheduled, and that's what we're talking about here. Is they're getting we're going to talk about whether or not what's scheduling, what models are scheduling for build dates in the future. So we're talking about, and then priority codes are given to each order that's put in there. So right now there's an 03 to 19 for retail orders and 20 to 80 for stock orders. Lower the better. It's kind of like golf score. So you want a lower number. So that's why retail orders are always looked at before a stock order, as long as the configuration is correct of what they're looking for. Scheduling, and this is where Ford schedules an order for a production date in the future. So we'll talk about what dates they're scheduling for, and that's where that next line, production date, is. They're getting scheduled for the week or to the day and such, and how that all works. Allocations, Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. So you can't get an order scheduled without an allocation, and a dealer needs those, and then also earns those from their sales for each month, or some sort of mix. Like right now, the Maverick isn't based on 100% on sales Mavericks, on the sale of Mavericks, but also the sale of other vehicles too in their mix. Constraints, we'll talk about that. We'll mention those constraints. Those are options that are in short supply or may take longer to build. Capacity is what percentage of their production could be devoted to a certain motor, certain trim, maybe even a certain option, based on supply or based on how long it takes to build that. Job 1 and Job 2, a production year, model year, is split into 2 production runs, Job 1 and Job 2. And right now on 24 model year, we're working on Job 1. Although Mustang is about ready to flip over to Job 2. Balance out, that is where they're basically their end of production for a certain option or a model or something like that. So right now we don't see a lot of balance out because we're just starting 24, but sometimes you might see that when you're finishing out the 23 model year, that kind of thing. So there we go. All right, let's get into the 24 Mustang right now. So speaking of the different Job 1 and Job 2s, so 24 model year Job 1, the first half of production is balancing out. They're balancing out scheduling this week, so they're trying to finish out Job 1 before moving to Job 2. So sometimes when you see a Job 2, especially this early, because we know Mustang was supposed to be an 18-month production, and I guess maybe we are 9 months in. Well, not quite. May, June, July. Anyway, so I feel like it's still a little early for halfway through the production year, because usually the rest, they're going through the complete end of 24 calendar year for production. So yeah, so they're going to start Job 2 probably in January. Actually, looks like maybe February, because production weeks they're going to be scheduling for is December 4th through January 15th. So again, they're doing a longer scheduling because they're going to try to finish out the balance out or Job 1. All right, now don't forget, retail only restrictions are on the Night Pony package and the GT Performance package. So those are only going to be scheduled for a retail order. So if dealers won't be able to get an order scheduled with the Night Pony package or the GT Performance package. So something to keep in mind. If you see one out there, like we have a couple with the GT Performance package on a lot, that's because a customer didn't take theirs when it came in. It was a retail order, legitimate. When it came in, they didn't buy it for whatever reason. So, all right. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Mustang as well. So you can do that. Some people might want to know how many orders. So I didn't do that yet. So I have that here. So currently there's 1,036 unscheduled retail orders. That's not counting any stocks. So yeah, and about half of them are GT Performance package, excluding Dark Horse. Dark Horse isn't figured into that number. So there you go. Okay. Now, next vehicle is the 24 model year Escape. It does say cleanup scheduling, so they are trying to fill the holes. When they say cleanup scheduling, that means any dealer that maybe has a leftover allocation that couldn't be fulfilled yet because of the configuration that the orders they have. So, like, let's say we had one order left with one allocation, but they can't schedule that one because of the configuration of it, then it keeps getting moved. And then they try to let us know, hey, if you change this or change that, then you can get it scheduled. So basically meaning if there's a dealer with an allocation left, they're trying to fulfill the allocations for that dealer. They are scheduled for production weeks December 4th through December 25th. And the order banks are open up for the 24 model year right now. 24 model year Bronco Sport. They are scheduling as well, cleanup scheduling, again, for a dealer that has an allocation like we don't have any. We had ours fulfilled already, so wouldn't get scheduled. But if a dealer has an allocation and there's a retail order in there, then they could get scheduled. They're scheduling for weeks, production weeks, the weeks of 12/4 through 12/25. Limited availability on the Outer Banks. And we, as we know in the past, we've seen this happen. Doesn't mean they won't schedule any Outer Banks. It's just they're going to schedule a limited number of them. So also they're saying exhausted availability. Again, with exhausted and limited availability, that's in here, but we've seen a lot of orders that were under that list that would qualify for an exhausted availability and still get scheduled. So, and I think some of that has to do with if the dealer has an allocation and there's no other orders to choose from, then they want to choose that order. So that's where we will see that happen, I think. And that's probably what's kind of tend to happen on those, because they want to fulfill that dealer's allocation. So if that dealer has one or two allocations and they only have a couple orders and it happens to be something that's exhausted, they'll try to pick that one because they want to fulfill that allocation and not carry that over to the next month. And the exhaust availability options are the convenience package, optional on the big band and the freewheeling, as well as the front and rear splash guards. So, and if you have an order out there, have the splash guards, take them off. That will help your chance of getting scheduled. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Bronco Sport as well. Oh, we were going to go through how many going back. Escape, 24 Escape. I keep forgetting this. There's only 605 unscheduled retail orders. And on the Bronco Sport, there's only 202 unscheduled Bronco Sport orders. So 100. So now we can actually easy math here, since there's only 200. It is saying 51% of those have a fit moonroof and the Copilot 360 Assist Plus package, which means 100 orders. So there's no reason why they couldn't get scheduled. And then 78%, they call it two-tone. That's your black painted roof. So that's a high number. So we know Outer Banks and Badlands, they get the black painted roof as standard equipment. So that means 78% of the orders in there are probably like 150 orders are going to be one of those two. So not a lot of big bends in there. So there you go. Anything else? 16% of them are freewheeling, which isn't that many. What's that? 32, if I do my math right. And Badlands only 32. So there you go. All right. Moving on. 24 model year Edge is not scheduling this week, and there's no constraints listed. And we're going to talk about the order banks because they are closing soon. So you'll want to make sure you get that order in if you want. Last year for 24 or for the Edge completely. So if you person that wants an Edge out there, you make sure you get that order in. There's 712 unscheduled retail orders for the Edge. Move this Mach-E because I know they always have it in weird order. All right. 24 model year Ranger, not scheduling. I think we know why. The plant is on strike right now, so they're not producing any vehicles. Retail order banks are open up for the 24 Ranger. These are kind of out of order. All right, how many orders? There's 3,432 unscheduled Ranger orders in there. It's going up because they're not producing any vehicles. So we'll see how long, and once they get everything going back again, how long it takes them to get that all produced. I don't even know what that plant can produce in Rangers each month, but there you go. 23 model year Bronco is not scheduling. Still haven't kicked over to 24. It was supposed to be January, beginning of January, I think, when 24 model year Bronco was going to start producing, but at this point, the plant is on strike as well. Ranger, Bronco, both built in the same place. So nothing's getting scheduled. Nothing's getting built right now. I'm sure there's several 23 model year already scheduled orders. And the question is going to be, are they going to get canceled? Are those going to be canceled VINs that we need to reorder for 24? We don't know. So anyway, there is currently 9,151 unscheduled orders in the order bank. And this does not give us a year on this sheet. So it could be both 23 and 24 model year. I don't know. Once that flips over, then we'll have a better idea of that. No major constraints other than Heritage Edition, of course. So Bronco's in pretty good. I mean, once the plant gets back and up and running, it's really in pretty good shape for almost every model and every trim level, with the exception of that Heritage Edition, which is great. 24 model year Maverick. Cleanup scheduling, just like Bronco Sport, same plant. They are scheduling production weeks December 4th through December 25th. Limited availability on the splash guards and the transmission for the hybrid. The hybrid transmission is on there too. But I'm still going to schedule some hybrids. You'll see. Anyway, so Maverick, how many unscheduled orders? Because we know what last week it was 35,000. It's about the same. So they didn't schedule too many last week. So there's 35,640 unscheduled Maverick orders in the order bank. Almost half of those are XL trim. Because as they schedule more, that number is gonna go up, isn't it? Because it makes sense. Because again, we're looking at what percentage of the unscheduled orders are in there. So 40%, 47% of the 35,000 orders are XL. But again, they can produce more than, their capacity is 23% for the model year. So 23% of, let's say, 100,000, 120,000, they're building about 10,000 a month. That's still a lot of XLs. There's no reason why all the XLs won't get scheduled, but probably those, if you have an XL out there, probably will take longer to get scheduled. Just so you know that. But yeah, if you do have an XL, there's definitely one you don't want to tempt fate with. You don't want to have that, the hitch is probably okay, but you definitely don't want to have, if it's a factory installed option, leave it on your order, but definitely get rid of any of those accessories, any of the things that the dealer would install, any things you can get through Ford Accessories. Get rid of those off your orders. Don't tempt and test anything there. If you got an XL, you're going to have a hard enough time getting it scheduled, let alone trying to make Ford put the protective film on there and the splash guards and your heart and your tonneau covers. Take it all off your orders if you really want to get your order. If you want to say Ford has to make it and you want to prove a point, go ahead and leave it on there. But if you really want your truck, take it off. All right. 24 model year Explorer is not scheduling. Again, that plant is on strike as well. So you definitely don't want to, you're not going to get anything scheduled this week. Order banks are open up. Oh, by the way, I forgot 24 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up, as well as 24 model year Bronco, and the 24 model year Explorer is now open up. A couple notes on that. Hybrid is not available for 24 model year. You cannot get a limited or platinum hybrid for 24 model year. And there will not be a 25 model year Timberline or King Ranch or base. So if you're wanting one of those three trims, you get a 24 unless you're wanting to wait for that new body style, and you're okay not getting those. There you go. And then there are currently 249 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Explorer. And again, it doesn't have the year, so that might be for both 23 and 24. If my brand manager for the Maverick wants to call me and let me know on that list, if that unscheduled orders, if that's for both years, I'd be really curious to know. He's the one that usually will give me feedback. 24 model year Expedition is not scheduling. Again, that plant is also on strike, so they're not going to be scheduling anything. Retail order banks are open up for the 24 model year Expedition. Don't forget that Platinum will require the 22-inch optional wheel, as well as the removal of the multi-contoured seat option 88R added to it to get scheduled once they are back up and running. There's currently 1,133 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. There you go. And there's also currently about 46% of those orders that have the standard wheel for the Platinum. Remember, I had said that you need to add the optional wheel. There's a lot of dealers that aren't in the know. They're not paying attention. So if you have an Expedition Platinum order in, and you know you have the standard wheel and haven't added the optional wheel, go to your dealer, because evidently they're not coming and telling you, because you need to change that if you want to get scheduled. All right, moving on. 24 model year Super Duty is not scheduling. Again, the Kentucky truck plant is down, or they're on strike right now, so they're not producing vehicles. Order banks are open up for 24 model year, and there's currently 24,225 unscheduled retail orders on the Super Duty. So yeah, that's not helping that they're on strike when they already have quite a few there. And at some point, the Maverick might catch up with the Super Duty, which is kind of crazy to think. The big thing there to note is King Ranch Platinum Limited are the ones that are going to be the most constrained. If you can live with the Lariat, that'd be the way to go. I'd switch over to Lariat if you can. I know some of you don't want to, and that's fine. Just know that it's going to take longer to get scheduled, as well as a high output diesel engine. 59% of those 24,000 orders happen to have the 6.7 high output diesel engine. Their capacity is 10%. So I would, look to switch. Some, it looks like some did switch over to the other engine, the 6.7 liter, because that is now closer to the capacity. So there you go. All right. 24 model year F-150. So we are scheduling 24 model year now. 23 is over. It's been balanced out. 24 model year order banks are open up for F-150. They are scheduling for the week of January 22nd. And this does say in here, there will be no scheduling of Raptor 37 and Raptor R this week. Only scheduling Raptor base. So there you go. And again, like I said, order banks are open up for that. For F-150, there's currently 4,314 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. We don't have a lot of F-150 orders in there. And that's not counting Lightning or Raptor in that number. So, all right. 24 model year F-150 Lightning. They don't actually have any kind of constraint list on that. I have no idea how many unscheduled retail orders are in the order bank for that. They are scheduled for the same weeks, January 22nd. 23 is over and balance out. And the order banks are open up for that. So if you want to order a Lightning, then you can. There you go. I've done some videos on those, and we're taking orders. Don't forget our big, I believe it's a great deal. $1,000 off of or below MSRP on Pro, $2,000 below MSRP on XLT and Flash, and $3,000 below MSRP on Lariat, and $4,000 below MSRP on Platinum. That's not counting your rebates. So if there are rebates available on 24, we would take that off too. So when that vehicle comes in, if there's rebates around, you'll get those on top of those. That is not, that is not including any incentives. 24 model year Mach-E is not scheduling this week, and order banks are opening up soon. 23 model year order banks are open up. Actually, it lists 24 model year Mach-E, not 23. So it looks like they might be moving on to 24, but the order banks aren't open up yet. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be opening up November 2nd. So that's coming up. And they put that in here. So anyway. And they are actually says 24 model year Mach-E job too, which is funny. There's only 43 unscheduled 23 model year retail orders in the order bank for Mach-E. So not that many. So I think that that's a typo. I think that's supposed to be 23, but all right. All right. And lastly, the 24 model year Transit, they are scheduled for the 24 model year now. There's currently 5,921 unscheduled Transit orders in the order bank. And that does say 24 model year on that. Let's see. They are scheduling for production weeks of December 18th, which is the launch. That's the first week of production for Transit. And so limited availability, a lot of these are carrying over from 23 model year. So it hasn't changed with the new model year. Supply hasn't helped at all and hasn't gotten better. So limited availability for the 3.5 EcoBoost engine, that's 99G, the high roof jumbo bus, the high roof long bus, the low roof crew van and bus, the medium roof crew van and bus, The high resolution camera, option 61E. The 360-degree camera for the ICE orders, option 61D. The AM/FM with a 4-inch multi-function display, which is 58U. And then the Transit Trail package as well, 47N. Those are limited availability. It mentions balance out here, and that wouldn't be correct. So I'm not going to mention that because we're just starting the model year. So they might have copy pasted from 23 model year and put that on there. 24 model year Transit order banks are open up right now. There you go. And that's it.